Hey everyone, it's Ashley Cannon Newell with you this Monday for Paper Tray Inks Making Monday, and I'm going to be sharing how I created this card and how to create angled backgrounds like this card I created for a previous release. And it's just different cardstocks here angled, but I have here just a piece of 4-inch by 5¼ inch cardstock, and I have 11-inch by 2 inches and 2.5-inch by 11-inch strips of pattern paper. So as you can see, you can use this technique and you can use cardstock, you can use pattern paper, and pretty much whatever type of design concept you can dream up. You can do a ombre type of effect with similar colors. That's like a gradient look, or you can just use different colors like I did on one of my other projects. So to start with, I just use a wider one on one end, and then I start overlapping and angling the cardstock gradually as I work my way to the top of the actual piece of paper I'm adhering it to. You could also have a decorative edge or a border to some of these if you want to change it up. That's an option. But this is a new unique way to create different angles on a background without using dies, because you can actually control what angle you want them to be at. And it can vary as you like or whatever. So as you can see here and watch my design process, I'm just angling it up, and if it becomes difficult for you to actually see where it's going, I'd recommend trimming the edges, the right and the left side off. And that's what I'm going to do now. Doesn't have to be perfect really, but I have extra here I can reuse. And it allows you to kind of see aesthetically how the patterns are going to be coming together. And since I'm just repeating with the same patterns of paper and different colors, I'm just going to repeat the color steps that I've been using previously below. And it's a fairly simple design process, but it creates a unique type of background and a custom pattern paper look that you may be looking to get in a one sheet of pattern paper, but you can do it with scraps or just different types of patterns you're looking for. Or like I said, you can use just cardstock, as I did on the first card that I showed in the beginning of the video. You could also use different angles and then stamp over them with a background stamp. That's something that you can do as well. So I'm just trimming the excess off the edges using my original card stock as a guide to get a straight edge. But in the end, I'm going to use my paper trimmer to get nice clean edges. But I just kind of wanted you to see the design process and how I do it and how it kind of looks. Okay, and I already had one I already did earlier and that I want to work with on this project. And this one is 4 inches by 5¾ inches. It's a little bit longer than the other one. Okay. So I already have here die cut and embossed Mighty Oak die with the wood grain embossing plate on white cardstock. This is tag cell number 8, one of the dies, and I'm using Stylish Sentiment's birthday stamp sentiment, and I'm going to use True Black ink to ink the sentiment and stamp it onto the tag die cut on the bottom, because I'm only using the bottom. Alright, now that I have that stamped, I'm just going to see how it looks positioned here on the top right section of the card. I'm going to take a paper trimmer here and trim off the top because I'm only going to be using that part. Alright, so I'm going to adhere it here with a little bit of the top edge hanging off of the pattern paper area because I want to add some stitching and a decorative pinked edge. So I'm going to add some adhesive a little bit to the Mighty Oak die cut that's been embossed in the wood grain embossed in an impression plate. And I'm just going to adhere it directly over my angled pattern paper background. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and adhere the leaves. And you can see like the angled background really adds a lot of pizzazz to this particular card. Not only does it add color, but also just a lot of angle and design that you wouldn't have gotten just with one sheet of pattern paper or a pattern paper that already has these type of angle designs on them. So this is the reason why I like this particular technique, because you can customize your paper however you like. So I'm just flipping the leaves up a little bit on here to add a little bit of dimension. And I'm going to go ahead and get my sewing machine out and stitch the top part of the tag sale die at the top there, right above the sending word, because I want a little bit of stitching added to it. So I've added the stitching. I'm just going to use some pinking shears, and I'm just going to trim it straight across. There we go. And I have a nice pinked decorative edge. You can do the same thing with the pinked border die. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my card base, which is 4 1/4 by 6 inches. I achieved this card base just by scoring my card, my 8.5 by 11 card stock in half at 5.5 inches, and then I trim it vertically at 4 1/4 inches, and then trim off it at 6 inches. Alright, and so for my last step, I'm going to add some sequins to my tree. I'm going to use a little bit of glossy accents to adhere it, all the different sequins. And this is just to add a little bit of extra color, dimension, and some bling to this particular card, belated birthday card. But I just really like how the angled cardstock design looks in the background, especially with pattern paper. But remember, you can do this with just different color cardstocks, the same color cardstock, and stamp it. You can go with a ombre effect and do a gradient type of look with the same hues of cardstock. I think that would be very pretty. But you can keep it really simple and just add sentiment with it. You don't have to add so much dyes and things like that. Just whatever you like and whatever type of style you like. But the general technique behind the angled cardstock is really cool because you get a different type of look. And you could even probably just die cut like a matte stack die from your angled cardstock piece and then use that as a focal point on a card as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish adding my sequins here. And voila, here they are all embellished on my card. I just love how the different colored pattern papers and how the angle design really looks on it. And I hope you do too. So here's a couple of images, still images of my finished card and project. I hope you try it out this week. Have a great week. Happy New Year. And for Paper Trink, I'm Ashley Cannon Newell. Bye.